Welcome to Lick TV, and this week I have Demi Louise on. Hi.
Hello.
Okay, so tell people about yourself and your music if they haven't heard about you before.
Well, I'm 21 and I've been playing for about 4 years, and my music's sort of like folk pop. I started off doing like YouTube covers and stuff like that, and yeah, I released a acoustic EP in November, which was just sort of like an introduction to everything, and then I released Ruins, which was like my first single in February, and yeah.
Okay, so you're scheduled to go back to Australia soon. Is there any stories, like funny stories or interesting stories of any busking or any gigs that you have?
Like since I've been in England?
Yeah.
There's always a funny story. You realise when you start busking like how odd people can be, like people on the street. A couple of weeks ago I was busking in Canterbury and I had this lady come up and she just like was yelling in my face, and she was like, why are you bothered? Why are you bothered? Why are you bothered? And then she just like wouldn't stop, and I was just like, oh, what am I supposed to do? So then I just like sort of stopped playing, and then she was just like, why are you bothered? Is that you entertaining people? And it was so embarrassing because she was like just going for it, and it was the fact that it's kind of creepy and funny at the same time. Like when you're sort of busking, it's like you're making a spectacle of yourself, so obviously you attract attention, like whether that be from the right or the wrong people. It sort of depends.
You didn't laugh at her, did you know?
Oh, I was sort of like, oh, yeah, sorry. And then she was like, oh, you're smiling now, but you won't be smiling when they all hate you. And then she like walked off. And I was like, okay.
Did you carry on after that?
Yeah, I carried on. I was fine. You have to just be resilient. I've had people like come up mid-song and like just sort of push me out of the way and like start yelling random stuff into the microphone. Happens quite a lot. Like you get a lot of people come up and they think that because there's a microphone there, it's like an open invitation to them to perform also.
Okay, so what's the most memorable event or gig you've had while you've been here in England?
Well, I've had like a lot of really amazing opportunities while I've been here, and I've played a few like really good festivals, but I think that one of the best actual like intimate gigs I did was when I was at Liverpool Sound City, and I played at, I can't even remember what it was called, but it was basically like this bar that was for people that were like just coming out of alcoholism or something like that. So everything that they had were like all these smoothies and like nice coffees and like all alcohol free, and it was like this really intimate room, and it was a really nice stage, and it was just really nice because there was a lot of people that sort of came specifically just to sort of see my show, and it was like a really nice moment for me to sort of be there because it was sort of the start of my time here. And
oh really?
Yeah, I loved it. That was probably one of my favorites.
Are there any plans for an album at all?
Oh yeah, obviously in the future, hopefully. But at the moment I sort of want to focus more on doing like at least another EP and another single before I release an album. But yeah.
Are there any collaborations on the horizon?
I've collaborated with quite a few like other YouTubers and stuff. My friend George Ogilvy, who is I've met in Canterbury, and Josh Savage, who's another like YouTuber. We did another cover together, and there's a few other people like Nicola Brown and Bess Atwell as well. Then we're going to do a few covers together, so that's pretty fun. It's good to sort of be over here because I feel like a lot of the people that I've sort of been watching for a while are sort of based in England, so it's nice to sort of have the opportunity to meet them and yeah, hang out and stuff, so it's been good.
Okay, so you're about to perform Ruins for us. Is there any backstory to that at all? How did that come about?
So Ruins was like the first proper produced song that I released in February, and I wrote that sort of late January actually, and it was sort of like when we were tossing up what song to sort of do for the single, and it's sort of inspired by a range of things, but obviously there's like a personal love story element to it as well, but part of it was sort of inspired by my grandparents and their relationship together, and my grandfather's got dementia, and it was sort of about like how the demise of his mind and like the crumbling of that in a way, and like how that can sort of jeopardize their love together, but you know, perhaps there are still elements in each other that they can sort of stay in love with, even though like through dementia, as horrible as it is, you sort of slowly become less of yourself, sort of thing. So that was sort of the story behind it.
And so thank you for coming on.
That's all right.
Fighting just to keep it